Hello everyone, I just wanted to do a quick editing video of a digital shot. So I just posted um, a post about how I kind of rushed this shoot, and um, I was trying to emulate, not even emulate, I was just trying to kind of recreate a shot from someone else rather than finding my own story, figuring out kind of the truth of the moment, which was my little Nora. She was having fun out in the snow. It was super heavy, thick snow, and she was kind of not wanting to be out there, but I got her out there in boots so that she wasn't getting her feet wet, and then she just wanted to cheese for me. It's really hard for me to get a serious face out of Nora, and for some reason, because I was trying to do this serious picture, I really wanted a serious face. So I got this shot about 3 or 4 pictures in, and then this is the shot that I actually posted, which I think is over edited. And I don't know. I like this picture of her, but it's not my favorite. I'm not feeling it because I know I coaxed this look out of her, and it's not really what I wanted. I didn't get the snow bokeh that I really wanted either, and it's just I hastily did this. It's not my favorite shot. So as I looked back through the 60 shots I took and then narrowed it down to about 10, this is the shot where I felt like I really actually got um, what I wanted. So this is actually the edited shot. I'm going to go back to my unedited. So this was it. It looks like my exposure was pretty low. So the very first thing I'm going to do is kind of, actually that will probably change when I put the preset on. But the other thing is I had set Kelvin to about 7,000, and that wasn't quite right for this. I had kind of set it using just kind of the general scene outside instead of kind of looking at her, because I was in a hurry. And so I'm just going to go over here and put auto. Now that looks a little bit better. So I always kind of do that if I've got Kelvin wrong. I just put it to auto and see how it does, and then I work from there. Sometimes I'll warm it up a little bit, which actually looks better. So, but this is just my raw file. Now I'm going to look at my film presets. I use other people's presets sometimes too, but I'm just going to show you mine because they're interesting to use. And I want to show you how all of those presets I will use in different situations. I would probably not use Ektar in this dark, kind of shady, snowy day. Fuji 400H usually looks best inside. Any of the Portras would be okay out here. If there's enough light, Portra 160 will be good. Portra 400 is pretty contrasty, so on this kind of flat light, it might not be the best. Portra 400 or Portra 800 is kind of a tricky one. I think it usually looks pretty good in the shade, so I'm just going to kind of hover over them and see. So this is Ektar. It really washes her out, and I could change a few things, but it obviously is not working on this one. Other pictures it will look pretty good almost immediately. This one looks okay. Fuji film in general does really kind of make an orangey tint to the pinks. So I can fix that, but I am thinking that's not right for this shot. Portra 160 looks pretty perfect on this shot, and I'll probably use that. Portra 400 looks okay. I'm seeing some splotchiness on her skin, and there's a little bit too much contrastiness. I would have to fix kind of a lot to make this look good. She kind of looks like a zombie right there. And then Portra 800. Now this one I want to just go back and say auto on the white balance, because sometimes it's just the white balance that's off. It still doesn't look great. I just don't feel like this is the right tones for a Portra 800 or 400. So I'm going to use Portra 160, which by the way is my favorite film stock. So I'm not surprised that this is the one I want to use. That looks pretty good already. One thing I do want to notice is I used a radial filter. I used 2 radial filters. Oh, they're on top of each other. Here on this one. So if you hover over one, it'll show you that this one is working on everything that's red here inside the radial filter, and then this one changes the things that are on the outside, as you can see. So if I want, say, I want to saturate just the outside here. Let me change the shape of this a little bit. I want to saturate just the background. I'm going to make sure I'm on that pin. And you can just hover over it until it shows you, or you can actually tell it to show you the selected mask overlay down here. I'm going to maybe try dehazing a little bit. I'm going to do a little bit of clarity so we can really see those snowflake, bokeh. That's a little too much. I'm going to up the saturation, and I'm also going to warm it up a little bit. I don't want her face to be warmer, but I want the background to be warmer. Now I'm going to work on the inside here. Good. And I was thinking I want those shadows up a little. No, I'm not sure. I think I do want to bring the contrast down a little bit so she looks a little more natural. And that's about it that I would do to this. I might look a little bit at how changing the exposure looks. Yeah, I'm thinking right about there is good. I might come back into this pin here and bring down the exposure everywhere else. And then I can see the edge. No, not too much. I can see the edge of my porch and the window, so I'm going to crop that in. I do not care that she is not going to be in the rule of thirds, like her eye up here on this line. I kind of want her to be dead center here, and I feel like the snow is a big part of the story, so I don't mind leaving that a little bit centered. I want a little more of the snow, but I want her in the middle. Okay, and that's all I would do to this shot. Just kind of coming in to make sure her eyes look natural. She has kind of funny eyes in that way, and so like I said, sometimes they can kind of look like a zombie, whereas other people's eyes look fine. All right, so yeah, I just wanted to mention, I did, when I moved up the exposure here, she did started looking kind of like a zombie a little bit. So if you try to use these other film presets and she starts kind of looking like a zombie, like in this one, it could just be the exposure that you need to fix. But I'm still pretty happy with the Portrait 160 preset on this one. So I'm going to export it. And I wanted to show you this really quick. I've got a nice, I've got all these different presets for different submissions or different things, and I will use like a Facebook posting one. This one goes to a specific folder online where I know where I find my pictures that I want to post on Instagram or Facebook. It uses 2048 pixels on the long edge of whatever picture I do. So it's ready to go, and I know that it's under 400K. The resolution is 300, so I've got everything I want for posting resolution. If you try to post a full-size resolution picture online, it crunches the pixels and makes it look pretty bad. So I never do that, and I have different ones for blog posting. And if you want to know the best resolution for all those things, just look it up. There's a million articles online that tell you all that stuff. So I'm going to export this. I'm going to overwrite what I already did. And then I have this picture, and I just want to show you between this one, which I feel like really shows her personality. It's just a nice little portrait, to this one where I was really trying to make it look like someone else's. I definitely prefer this one now that I've had time to stop and look and think about it, and really make it feel more like what was happening at the moment rather than, you know, trying to recreate someone else's moment. And that makes a huge difference. If I had taken the time to really slow down and figure that out, then this would have been a better picture to post. And that's it. Whoa, there's more pictures. I had already edited this picture. I kind of like that edit better. Anyway, subtle differences. Thanks everyone for watching, and I will talk to you later. Bye.